the Hanging with Web Show TV's Bargain Basement Studio in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, it's Pillow Talk with Willow Schuyler.
Will you take me to Winnipeg?
I will, someday. Toronto, Montreal, Quebec, Winnipeg.
Now what's this guy doing up here in Manitoba?
He was holding the map up.
Every salvage mission that's been through this system has disappeared. Even those old pirates out at Winnipeg Drift say it's cursed.
Cursed. Winnipeg's got a great ballet. Have a good time, I swear to God.
Sweet guinea pig of Winnipeg! They've taken over our company!
Balderdash! I never agreed to that!
I should have stayed in Winnipeg, you know? I had a nice gallery, 3 paintings on the wall.
Are you kidding? And you look back. Born home, Quebec. Drafted out of the juniors in the 5th round to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Played for a year with the Leafs, then traded to the Winnipeg Jets, then to Calgary, then to Boston.
Wow.
So Winnipeg must get pretty cold up there.
That's it! Back to Winnipeg!
Yes, folks, it is I, Willow Schuyler from the coldest place in Canada, Winnipeg, Manitoba. With me today is a gentleman from Ireland, Stephen Rafferty. He is a musician, singer-songwriter. He's apparently gone viral with his song "Concrete Christmas." So tell me about yourself, Stephen.
Yeah, I mean, just basically what you said. I'm a singer-songwriter from Ireland, a little county called County Down up north. And yeah, I just basically started singing whenever I was younger in primary school and just kind of worked my way up into a few different instruments and decided that the best instrument to sing along with was the guitar. So I just stuck with it then.
So you went viral. Is it just for that song, or have you gone viral for your whole career?
No, it's just been this song. I've kind of had, I've like a little bit of a local following. Like my friends kind of got on board and followed me around. A few gigs, girlfriend, my mum. Just people who kind of stuck by me from the start, and it just kind of built up one by one, and then. I decided to take this one into a proper recording studio, get it all done professionally, and it definitely worked in my favor. So,
awesome. So, how did you get into writing music?
I mean, I suppose it all started in school. There was just a whole craze about wanting to, be a rock star and all. You wanted to be the best in the school, and you want to be the best locally and stuff. So you start writing silly songs, as I like to call them, at the very start. Start writing about whatever, about school maybe, or about not knowing what you're doing with yourself, but you're only maybe 12 or 13 years of age, so nobody at that age should know what they're doing with themselves. So that I remember I wrote a song. The first song that I ever kind of wrote was called Famous, and it was just the words in the chorus were, I just want to be famous and be a star, I just want to be famous and drive a nice car. So I mean I'm my car's not too bad, and I'm on my way to I suppose I'm not doing too badly after writing that one, but
well, when you start singing Adam Sandler's piece of shit car, then you have an issue.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, no, I mean, from then it just kind of, little by little, it just kind of grew into writing songs that actually made a little bit of sense. Then, writing some love songs or whatever, you kind of just go through that craze, because that's what everybody kind of starts writing about whenever they claim to be a musician. And then, from then on, I started realizing that I didn't ever feel music until I was writing about something that I have experienced in my own life. So, since starting to write things that made sense to me, You know, it's just started flowing more. So
Terry's in the chat. All the greatest rock stars come from Ireland.
He's right. He's right. He's definitely
I'll have to
right
remember
there.
that. Hello to everybody who's in the chat. Ted, Carl, Terry. I'm sure there's more of you that have yet to pop up, but welcome to Willow's Pillow Talk. I know we're a little bit earlier than normal, but that's why we have the show on Thursday popping up. Mm-hmm. So back to the Concrete Christmas. When you started writing it, were you focused on your own feelings, or was it a story from those around you that you wanted to write it?
Yeah, it was. It kind of started being based on a family bereavement, and it happened at Christmas time, just after Christmas time 2 years ago, and it had never happened to me before. So it was the first year that last Christmas was the first year that I had ever experienced kind of the whole empty seat at the table and how it actually felt, and. You know, from then, I left the table last year, and you know, after we had finished our Christmas dinner and stuff, and I went into the piano, and I started writing the chorus, which was "Merry Christmas to the ones that we love. What is a Christmas if you can't spend it with someone?" And then I kind of just got stuck there because I suppose it was still a bit raw. You know, the feeling was still there. I could kind of see everybody else's emotion was, you know, nobody was feeling that great about the situation in the house. And then over time, I just kind of let the song grow, because I started saying to myself, well, you know, if it feels like this to lose one person, then it must feel like really, really bad if you are one person who's never had anybody at Christmas. So, you know, that's whenever the whole homelessness scenario came into the song as well. So it's just something else to write about, I suppose. And then I started thinking, well, I don't know what I would do if I came across a homeless person on the street. I genuinely don't know how to help that person, because a lot of people tell you, you know, giving them money isn't the right thing to do because they might not spend it on what they need, and things like that. So the only thing that I had ever done for the homeless before was buy a coffee and have a quick chat, and then I moved on my way. So I just thought, you know, I have a talent. I'm not bad at songwriting at the minute, so maybe I could use that for, you know, to raise some sort of awareness.
Yeah. And it's really nice that there's someone out there focusing on that, because I know even in my own city, like we have people begging for money, and if you give one person money, there's like a whole flock of them that come and ask for it too, and it's like, I don't have enough change for you guys. It's really sad.
It is.
And I really wish that the government would do more for the homeless. I'm glad that there's someone that like you who is focusing on trying to get that feeling out there, so that more is done for them. Yeah. What inspired you to continue writing? Like what inspired you to start writing, first of all?
Well, I suppose it was just the whole thing of just wanting to be more than just playing in your local pubs. You know, like I obviously I enjoy gigging, and I love being out and, you know, having a couple of beers and singing for people, you know, locally that I know or whatever. But I just, you know, sometimes whenever I watch live singers like Damien Rice, you know, I watch them doing like cathedral gigs in Amsterdam, you know, these random beautiful gigs, and it's like, you know, you don't get to them places by singing somebody else's song. You get to them places by writing a song that other people want to hear. So I mean, I started writing, you know, like I was saying about you know, like silly love songs or songs about wanting to be famous or, you know, wanting to have loads of money and stuff whenever I was younger. But it really started taking off for me whenever a few years ago I kind of started struggling in my head I think I was just at a crossroads, and I didn't know what the next step was, because I had finished school and I didn't know whether to go on to college or stay out of college and just gig, or if I should go and try and get a full-time job somewhere and try and gig at the same time. So I ended up traveling, and I didn't really travel. I just moved away to Ibiza and lived there for 6 months, and there was a lot of partying whenever I was there. So like it was great at the time, and then it was just like a downward spiral then. And I started to wonder then, have I made the right decision for myself here? And, things started not looking down, but, I started going back to thinking, okay, I've made a good choice here. This is what I've decided I want to do. I want to travel. And then halfway through that time in my life, I started to realize maybe I don't really want to travel that much, especially not to somewhere like Ibiza where all I done was party. Maybe getting over to the likes of Nashville or something is maybe where I would be better off. So that kind of settled me down in. I moved home, kind of settled me in, and then I just started writing about maybe like all the emotions that I was feeling whenever I felt lost. So that's what's kept me writing, and that's what the album is going to be all about next year. So
okay. And do you find your music to be kind of a therapy for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think there's anything else that does it for me. There's things that can distract you, but whenever you're struggling with something, a distraction isn't really what you need. It's kind of working through it. That's the more superior option. So using the music to actually, to literally describe how I feel is just a way of working through it, and not just going out for a run or going to the gym or watching a game of football. That's okay for the for the length of time that a football match is on, or the length of time that you're in the gym. But as soon as you finish, it's straight back to square one. So
yeah. And you get kind of like the same kind of high, of going out and going to the gym and all that. You write a song and you get that energy. And
yeah.
Do you ever go to karaoke bars and just no? You're not a karaoke person.
No, I'm just not a backing track type of person. People. That even people in a house, or if we're having a drink or whatever, the people that know me very well know, do not ask me to sing if there's no guitar, because it will never happen. I need to get into the groove whenever I'm there, because it's me accompanying me on the guitar, not trying to keep up with the backing track, or
okay.
So, yeah, it's just a weird little superstition that I have. I'm not a good singer unless I have my guitar.
Do you like performing for crowds?
Love it. No, well, I mean, I love it to the extent of I love the buzz off it. But whenever I'm playing in a small pub that's really busy, full of people,
yeah.
They just get closer and closer and closer and closer, and you start going, right?
Yeah.
And just move back. But yeah, feeling chemistry with people who are watching me do a gig is it just scores a lot of points inside me. So you
prefer the smaller you prefer the smaller pubs than the big concert halls?
No, I would prefer the big concert hall, because I would be on a stage and I would be back. But what I'm saying is, a big crowd in a small pub just is far too much, because there's nowhere for them to go. That kind of way.
Yeah, yeah.
So seated gigs more so than rowdy ones. But
I hear you. Matt McIver has a question. Any gigs coming up? How is the pandemic treating? How is the pandemic treating you guys in Ireland anyway?
Yeah, not great. Not great. I mean, I'm sure everybody can agree that anybody from, especially from the north of Ireland, can agree with me that it's never great anyway. Without a pandemic, we don't really know where anybody stands. So yeah, they're not. They're just not. They're keeping us in the dark. You know, they're not. There's no clear guideline as to what musicians can play, or even what music can play through speakers in a bar. You know, so yeah. So the bars have only opened last weekend there on Friday, and it's only places that are selling food as well. So there's no just wet pubs open. And like, as far as I'm aware, there's no live music as of yet has been confirmed. So, Matt, to answer your question, I don't have a bloody notion. Hopefully I'll know soon. But I'm meant to have a few gigs in the Sleeve Honored Hotel now over the Christmas holidays, but nobody knows if they're going to go ahead or not. But
do you have any musicians that you look up to that you'd like to collaborate with in the future?
Damien Rice, definitely. I mean, there's plenty of people that I would love to collaborate with, but I think Damien Rice just has that. Like, I suppose I followed his vibe in his music, and he's just so, you know, he's not trying to be anybody else, and he never has tried to be anybody else. You know, and that man's voice is just incredible. So, yeah, hopefully Damien Rice someday. I mean, there's plenty. I would love to do something with the likes of Codaline or Ed Sheeran maybe, but not. Damien Rice is definitely first on the list.
Okay.
So if you know him, just tell him to give me a bell, and I'll
absolutely.
I'll try and free up some time for him.
We'll try to do like a hashtag thing. Try to see if we can't get that going for you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much.
If you could open up, would he be the one that you'd like to open up a show for?
Yeah. I mean, it's. I suppose some people would say, like, if we were going to do that, then it would be maybe, you know, too similar. But you could always open up the show and then join his show if he would allow you. So yeah, that would be amazing.
There's nothing wrong with having the same kind of sound as another musician on the same show.
I know. Well, I just wouldn't want him to come on and do the same thing as me, but sound far better. I maybe need to, like, just open for Miley Cyrus or something, just somebody completely different, like.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, cool. You're in Winnipeg, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've got a friend that lives over in Winnipeg, so I do.
It's gotten pretty cold here. We were having quite the nice warm winter at the beginning. Yesterday it got really cold, so I'm not ready for the snowsuit yet. No. You know, my friend was telling me that it just within like 2 weeks it just drops. Yeah, and I know you guys have I don't have to worry about converting my weather to Fahrenheit for you guys. So we got down to like minus 24 yesterday, and not happy.
That's insane.
It's a little warmer today, but
the most I've ever seen over here, I think, has been about -6.
Oh wow. It's bloody freezing here, apparently. Apparently, Terry, it's cold.
Nah, come on, Terry. Man up, it's not that cold over here. Whenever you hear that, -24, like, oh, not nice.
Well, is it winter time for you guys now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, lovely, dark mornings, dark going to work and dark coming home. So,
do you guys get much snow out in Ireland at all?
No, not really. Not really. We would get the odd bit, like, but it would only last for like maybe 2 days, and then disappears. So it just turns to dirty water all over the roads. But
yeah,
I suppose it's better than ice.
Yeah, you guys are lucky though. I prefer that over the snow that we get.
Yeah, fair enough.
How do you feel about the internet impacting your music? Like, how has your life changed since getting viral?
Yeah, well, I mean, it hasn't really changed much, like with the way I'm doing things. It's just shown me, that you can put a video up and all of a sudden in the click of your finger, 30,000 people have seen it. And I suppose, like, I was expecting the most I've ever got on a video, I think was like 13.8 thousand. So I was kind of, kind of said to myself, like, that was viral enough for me. But then whenever this one went up, I was just like, it can just project. But I mean, it's amazing that it can do that. But at the same time, it's scary that you can put something out there and all of a sudden that many people have seen it. It's just scary how quickly that, something can spread on the internet. But obviously, if you use it correctly, like, amazing things can happen.
Well, clearly you're touching on a lot of people's hearts here, so that's awesome, though.
Yeah, well,
and when I listened to it for the first time, I even had tears. So it's you're doing something right.
Yeah, thank you very much. I set out to make everybody cry. That was my game plan from the start.
Make everybody have the feels, right?
Yeah, it's my job.
Okay. Do you like singing in the shower much? Do you have a certain a song that is your go-to whenever you're alone, or no?
No, not. I wouldn't say in the shower, but like sometimes I would. If I'm lying in bed, I would maybe start humming a song, but it would usually just be a song that I've been like kind of feeling recently, like everybody asks me like what my favorite song is, but my favorite song kind of changes every day. So it just depends what mood I'm in. I mean, at the minute,
that.
Yeah. Like it's just different.
It's hard to like, especially like being asked who is your favorite musician and all that, like that. I'm always changing who my favorite musician is or what my favorite song is. It's hard to choose, especially when you listen to all like growing up with certain musicians and all that.
Yeah.
It really, I guess it really depends on the era that you're in the mood for.
Yeah. I don't know. It's that, and it's your mood. If you've had a bit of a rough day, and like it sounds. It nearly sounds silly saying it, but it's true. Like, if you've had a rough day, like a sad song is something that you're going to want to listen to. You're not going to want. It's like the stubbornness inside of you, like says, "No, I've had a bad day. Like I don't want to be happy."
Yeah.
You probably should try to be listening to more, lively and upbeat and sunnier vibes. But no, it's just. You kind of go with your mood. Well, I do anyway.
Yeah.
I know that. Well.
Yeah. How do you describe your sound to people who don't know who you are?
Well, I mean, whenever people ask me what type of stuff do you play, I just say, well, like if I'm out doing a local gig or whatever, and I'm not playing my own music, I just say like I put my own twist, my own acoustic twist. But for my own music, I suppose most of it would be folk inspired.
Okay.
Couple of maybe a little bit folk country, and then the others kind of indie folk. So yeah.
Do you just
they're all. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, but like they all kind of have a different sound to them. I try not to keep them all too close together, but it's I think it's a very new like era of music. You know, I don't think there's that many different plugins and stuff on recording softwares now that there is no like. You know, there's plenty of music that you can say, you know, what genre it is, but there's no, like, for a lot of music, there's no, you know, you listen to the first 8 or 10 bars of a song, there's no, like, oh, it's definitely country, or, oh, it's definitely blues. You know, there's a lot of different elements of different genres going into music now, which is great, because it's creative.
Yeah. What inspired you more, like, for your music taste? Like, was it folk? Was it country, or rock?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's always been folk. You know, I've kind of grew up listening to the Dubliners and stuff. They're like Irish folk, and then, you know, listening to like American folk, and then how like English artists have kind of used American folk music and changed it, like Mumford and Sons or the Lumineers. You know, that would be like my favorite style of music to listen to, unless I'm listening to Damien Rice.
And how do you feel about like people's hatred when it comes to country music? Like, I find it kind of annoying, in the fact that, you know, people are like, oh, I don't listen to country because it's bad. And it's like, me personally, when it comes to country, I find, because there's such a mixture of sound, that I find the writing styles so much better for country, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny how mixed up people get in country, because people just, you know, people kind of listen to somebody, they listen to the word country, like people say, do you like country music? And they just think of this like guitar and banjo and, you know, just kind of playing just your stereotypical country music. But what people don't realize, unless they probably read into it, is that Avicii's last album before he passed away was 100% country inspired. You know, like if you listen back to it and you strip all of the synths and all of the loops and you know the beats that he's used, if you just strip it back to the person that wrote that song, like if I played Avicii's Whole Stories album on guitar, the way it sounds just on the guitar, you would say, oh yeah, it's country music. And it's great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be one for listening, you know, wanting to sit and listen to, you know, just country music. Like that it's not good music, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I listen to, I'm very eclectic when it comes to my music. I can go from like listening to Aqua to, you know, listening to like Dolly Parton or the Bee Gees, and I'm all over the place with my music. But when it comes to songwriting, I find country music is more to the heart. And
no, I agree. I agree with that. I mean, look at Johnny Cash. You know, I mean, Johnny Cash.
Oh yeah.
Country and blues, like that music's just that's top. You know, that's the top music, because it's obviously vintage, and like, you know, a lot of people nowadays will never go back to listening to that, which is sad that that's that's reality. But like, even the very first of electronic music is like seems so far in the distance now. do that kind of way. So the world is evolving far too quickly. But
yep, it sure is. What is your favorite song to perform?
Ooh, God, I don't know. Maybe Tennessee Whiskey by Chris Stapleton. Maybe. That I wouldn't be 100% sure, but it's definitely one that I have to. There's a lot of songs that you can get away with singing it quietly if you want, but to get the full effect of Tennessee Whiskey, you have to properly belt it out. Like, so there's no space to hide. There's no room to hide when you're playing that one.
Do you and your family sing Christmas carols around the holidays at all, or no?
Not really. I mean, we would have a few drinks in the house and like kind of play. I would just sit in the piano or play guitar, and we would all kind of have a bit of a sing along. But I think everybody's afraid of interrupting me while I'm singing. Just hanging a little bit.
Do you come from a musical family?
No.
Oh, you're the only one?
Yeah. I have no idea how it happened, but.
What was your first instrument that you learned to play?
The cornet, which is a smaller trumpet. So. Okay. Yeah. And then I played the trumpet after that. But then I realized that, I didn't realize I was kind of getting frustrated that I kept playing the trumpet, but I wanted to sing. I was like, I can't play the trumpet and sing at the same time, so I need to get something else under my belt. So then I started learning guitar and then a wee bit of piano as well. So.
Okay. And did you find it easier to write songs with the piano than the trumpet?
Oh yeah, Dev. I never tried. I think the only thing that I ever really tried to play on that was outside of just trumpet lessons was the match of the day, the theme song that was on every Saturday and Sunday after the Premier League had been played. That was about it. It was about the most creative thing I'd done with the trumpet.
I have a comment here. Your mum is musical, apparently.
I mean, she played piano in school, then a wee bit of tin whistle, I think. But I mean, there's certainly no singers anyway in watch.
I have a question here from YouTube. Where do you hope that your career goes from here?
Oh, it's a tough one at the minute. I suppose at this very moment, I just hope that my career keeps going because of the whole lockdown with the coronavirus. But apart from that, I suppose I would just like a slow and steady climb up to doing my own ticketed events to play, to showcase my album, and then later albums to come hopefully as well. And obviously I would love to be playing in football stadiums and the biggest concert halls that there is, but for now I just want my music to get out there. I want people to enjoy it, and especially with the album that's coming up, it's heavily influenced by my own experiences and struggling with my own mental health. So the main thing that I want to come in the near future are for people to be able to relate in their own way, to something maybe similar, a similar way that they felt to some of the songs on the album.
Yeah. And I'm sure this pandemic is not helping your mental health, but how are you finding what coping mechanisms are you using so that you distract yourself more away from the pandemic?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've still got a full-time job, so that's keeping me busy. And it's only since the pandemic that I started recording the album. I had some of the album written, and I got into the studio because I just said, listen, I've been writing about it. It's the songs are good. They're well written. From a writer's point of view, they're well written. They come across professional. So there's no point in this, in all these lyrics just sitting in a book in my house. So I got into the studio, and then we've kind of been building on it, working with other musicians. So it's been hectic with. Like, my life hasn't slowed down at all because of the pandemic, really. It's actually sped up. But yeah, I suppose there's been a lot of money spent on recording the album, and not anywhere near as much money coming back in because I've had no gigs. I've had nothing going on, in the outside world. So, but that's how I've been coping with it. Just the songs are there, they're written, so. I need to get them recorded so that they can be released, and that's just the timeline for any musician who wants their music out there.
Okay. And have you been very close with your family? Like, are you making sure that you're keeping tabs on them as well? And
oh yeah. I mean, I still live at home, which is good. It's been helpful through the whole pandemic. But yeah, no, everybody's here. Everybody here is doing good. So,
and what plans do you have for Christmas? Like, I know a lot of us have to try to find ways of interacting online with our family. Like, do you have a set plan to do like a FaceTime or over the internet somehow family gathering?
Yeah, well, I mean, probably do that, before the dinner and stuff. But I suppose we just have to accept now that it's not going to be the same as every other year. Hopefully, this is the only year that it's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, fingers crossed. But no, just stick to the normal routine. Just obviously, just less people than what we're used to. So.
Yeah. I know that my husband's like, well, my parents want to come over on the 27th. I'm like, oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm a little hesitant on that, but at the same time, it's like, well, we've gone to visit them already a couple times, so I think we're okay.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Just got to make sure that you sanitize everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Who are some other musicians that you've admired recently or in the past?
I don't know. I suppose, like, talking locally, there's a guy called Foy Vance. He's just, I suppose, he's a very unique voice. Somebody who I've kind of looked up to in the sense of you don't need to come up with this, huge production in a song to make it sound good. He's very simple. Keeps it, very close to himself. His guitar and his voice. And another person who's very similar to that is another local man, Gareth Dunlop. So I suppose, I mean, I look up to any musician who is successful and who I feel writes good music. But I do like looking up to local musicians who have made it because of, it seems more realistic because they're close to home. I don't know. I mean, the likes of James Bay, John Mayer, people like that, obviously, like anybody who plays guitar kind of looks up to them people. But it feels like, with the likes of Foy Vance and Gareth Dunlop, it feels like you could literally reach out to them people, and you're not too far away from them. So,
And I'm sure this happens a lot where you're listening to one song and then you get inspired to write something similar, but kind of change the words. How has that impacted your life? When your inspiration strikes, do you always carry a pen and paper with you, or?
No, well, it would be on my phone.
That's true. Technology has changed.
I know, but I would depend. Like, it depends what I'm doing. I kind of hold. The way I look at it sometimes is, if I don't have time to write it down there and then, if it's a good enough idea, it'll stick. Yeah. And I'll remember whenever I do stop, and get a chance to write it down or whatever. If it doesn't stick with me, then I'll just go, yeah, it must have been shit. So I'll let it just roll on over my head. I'll wait till the next bit of inspiral comes along.
Your video, Concrete Christmas, how did you come up with the idea of filming that around your city, or was that a collaborative? How did you come up with the idea of filming it?
Yeah, well, it was actually my producer that said, we were in the studio and we had I think the song was nearly finished. I think I had to redo my vocal on it or something. I wasn't happy with the vocal, and I went in to the vocal booth and he said, you really feel this song, like, obviously because of what it's about, and you want to release it to raise awareness, and he said, like, I got sitting here, he said, like, you got to make a video for this, like, and this was the start of November, and I was like, right, well, we've got 3 weeks to do this, so he kind of said, right, I know somebody, he's a great guy, I'll get him in touch with you, and we'll try and sort a timeline out, try and sort a price out, make sure everybody's happy. And at the end of it, I just said, okay, scrap the whole, try and work out a price. I'm on board. Just go ahead with it. Just get me somebody that can film it, to a high enough quality, and who can direct it. And I mean, I'm sure you can see for yourself that it was very well directed and very well filmed as well. So I'm the moon.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to play the song for everybody so that everybody knows what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Okie dokie.
Where are you sleeping on this cold Christmas Eve? Are you dreaming of warmer places you could be? Is there a fire or just a cold concrete floor? Will you be waiting for Santa knocking at your door? 'Cause it's cold outside and the lights go out one by one. Are you waiting for the presents or just wishing for the morning sun? Merry Christmas to the ones that we love. What is a Christmas if you can't spend it with someone? I know that you're out there. I hope that you keep holding on. 'Cause someday soon you'll find a place you can call your home. It's been a long night. You're just happy that it's past. Your body's freezing like that snowman on the path. The tables fill up with families all gathered round. You're just waiting for a stranger to throw a pound. 'Cause it's cold outside and the lights go out one by one. Are you waiting for the presents or just wishing for the morning sun? Merry Christmas to the ones that we love. What is a Christmas if you can spend it with someone? I know that you're out there. I hope that you keep holding on. 'Cause someday soon you'll find a place you can call your home. Someday soon you'll find a place you can call your home.
Yeah, I love your voice in that, by the way.
Thank you very much.
I don't know. It's just you have a great raspiness, but at the same time, it complements you very well.
Very much. Hopefully you're saying that about the rest of the album as well. Not the rest of the album. That's not on the album, obviously, but hopefully you're saying that about the album.
Terry is asking where you can find Concrete Christmas.
It's just on every streaming platform that there is, so you can get it on Spotify, iTunes, and Amazon. We kind of ended up flipping a coin of the whole, printing hard copies, because, like, who buys them anymore? That's true. I don't even know if people even send CDs to radio stations anymore. It's all just get a WAV file and just send it to an email address. So I don't know. I mean,
you've been getting radio plays though, right?
Yeah, I have. So just more so locally, but I mean, I've been in contact with a few different radio stations in England and stuff as well, and I think they wanted to play it. I hope they did. I'll not know for a little while, until I get feedback from the royalties companies and whether they've been played or not. But I mean, obviously, I requested that every time a radio station got in contact with me, like, I kind of requested that they phoned me before they played the song so that I could tune in. But I mean, you can't expect every radio presenter in the world to remember to phone the person that they're about to play, because at the end of the day, it's not really up to the presenter. If it's on the system, then they'll play it, type of thing. So there's a lot of people maybe didn't get the message, or maybe they just haven't played it. I don't know, but hopefully they just didn't get the message.
How was that initial feeling when you first heard that song play on the radio, or when you found out that it was being passed around and becoming popular?
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard feeling to describe, because I suppose it'll be a completely different feeling with the album, I suppose, because it's kind of like my emotions are shared between like me getting out there and the song raising awareness. That kind of thing. Like, I released the song to raise awareness. So the fact that it's getting on the radio and people are going to hear it is amazing. But then because it hopefully it makes them kind of think about the whole homelessness scenario and loneliness. It's about loneliness as well, not just homelessness. But then the selfish part of me was saying, like, oh my God, I'm on the radio, and this is great. So it was a mixed bag of emotions, definitely. I was relieved that it had got on the radio because of the music video had went so well as well. Because I knew that it was doing its job, raising awareness. But then obviously I was just happy that people were kind of hearing my name on the radio as well. So,
well, most cars don't have CDs player. I still have mine.
Yeah.
I still live under the rock of old technology because I refuse to change.
I know. It is hard. It's hard to change. Like even with printers and stuff, like, printers and everything are like connected to Wi-Fi now. You don't even need to plug it in to print. But
yeah,
they definitely cause more problems though by not needing a cable.
Yeah, like I'm trying very hard to download more music and everything, but it seems like lately now it's like my life has become podcasting and listening to all my friends that I'm like my group that I'm a part of. I'm listening to them, and then I have to catch up on all their shows whenever I miss them. So it's become quite the interesting reality in the last couple months. I'm sure you know that. With all the people who you hang out with, seems like this year everybody started up a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I appreciate what you are doing though with your music and bringing out. I know a lot of people don't like reality hitting them in the hearts, but this is a great change for what we need when it comes to music. We definitely need that reality, that sad reality, but reality nonetheless. And what you are doing, I want you to continue with it.
I will definitely. Don't worry.
Anything new on the horizon for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, just the album. The album's number one at the minute, just to kind of get it out because it's become very clear to me that like I can't seem to move away from writing about mental health. Well, it's not really just mental health, but writing about kind of, some negative experiences in my life. And I feel like I need to just release the album. I need to get it all recorded and release it so that I can cling on tight to the album, but I don't have to cling on tight to the ideas anymore. And I can move on to the next chapter of writing.
Yeah. I look forward to hearing more of your stuff, but looks like technology is kind of working not in our favor today very well. So I think we're gonna cut the show a little early, but you have a great evening though. I know it's. You guys are 5 hours ahead of my time, so
yeah,
it's dinner time for you. You have a great night. Thank you for hanging out, and anytime you want to come hang out with us again, feel free to ask.
Yeah, thank you so much indeed for having me. I really enjoyed it.
And everybody, hi. Sorry, Russell, you just joined us in the chat, but hi nonetheless. But you guys, I appreciate everybody in the chat. I do listen, I do watch you, and I do see that you guys are there. So I appreciate every one of you. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you soon. See you Thursday.
Thank you, Ash.